Welcome back to the Tool Lab. Today, we're all here to talk about this, the Milwaukee's brand new M18 21-inch snowblower. We finally got our hands on one, and after enough classic New England storms, we've given this thing a thorough evaluation. This is Milwaukee's first entrance into the snowblower game. Now, we recently reviewed the Ego 2-stage snowblower, but what separates this Milwaukee unit is that it's a single-stage machine, or as I like to call it, a snow thrower. 2-stage blowers, the typical gas-powered beasts you see in most northern driveways, use a metal auger to break up the snow and separate it and feed it into a high-speed impeller whose job is to then shoot it up into the chute and as far as possible. Single-stage throwers have to do all of that in one motion. It's a delicate balancing act to get that right, especially in different types of snow. So how did Milwaukee tackle this? Well, they were a little late to the electric snowblower party, mostly because they were determined to rely on their 18-volt platform. To get gas equivalent power out of 18 volts requires a ton of current, which creates a ton of heat, especially in sustained efforts like snow clearing. Competitors like DeWalt, Ego, and Ryobi have used their higher voltage platforms, their 56 and 40 volt platforms, to get there faster. Milwaukee's solution was the new M18 Forge lithium-ion batteries, particularly the HD12s, the big ones. This kit ships with 2 of these massive high-tech batteries running in series at roughly $299 a pop, $300. That goes a long way in explaining the $1,500 sticker shock for this kit. But how does it actually perform? Honestly, the auger really surprised me. Unlike others that may leave a layer of snow behind, this rubber paddle auger scrapes right to the ground, leaving a very clean surface. It's significantly better at cleaning up walkways than my tractor-mounted 2-stage blower. I use that for larger areas. Because of that rubber paddle, it actually grips the surface and pulls itself forward. So it's not self-propelled, but it gives you a boost in the forward direction, something I wasn't expecting. In light snow or slush, it works incredibly well. The only downside that I found, I have a sloped driveway at the end. On the uphill, it was great. On the downhill, on an icy day, this thing wanted to go. And I found myself running. And it's not something you want to be doing on an icy downhill day. The machine monitors resistance like 1,000 times per second to optimize that power and that speed to get you the snow clearing you need. So you can't just dial it down and go a bit slower. The fix I had was to simply tilting it back on the rubber so the rubber stopped grabbing and it stopped pulling. But you lose that perfect scrape when you do that. Not really sure how to solve that issue. In snow, 10 inches high, it performed great. In 6 inches high, medium pack snow, same story. And with a few inches of slush, the motor kept going. It outputs a crap ton of power. I tried to bog this thing down, and I brought it into a few snowbanks. I went into my packed backyard snow, so it's really tough stuff. I exhausted myself just trying to feed it before that motor would bog down and quit. So the torque and the power is absolutely there. It's just how much current and battery capacity are you eating up. The clearing capacity is 21 inches wide, 12 inches high. Its expected runtime on the included batteries clears 11 car spaces worth of 6-inch snow. So try to extrapolate that with what you have. This seems about right from what I experienced. I did have 2 additional batteries to evaluate in a bit longer. Now, the snowblower requires 2 batteries to operate, and they run them in series to up the power. The additional 2 batteries can be added to the 4-bay compartment to extend runtime, but not power. Chute uses a mechanical geared handle that is incredibly snappy and responsive. More importantly, the chute itself, it actually has a really big circumference. It handled the thick, heavy New England slush that normally gives gas blowers and even my tractor blower absolute nightmare. It never clogged once. I was very well surprised with that. The user interface up here is simple and easy to use. The power button is large and easy to access with mittens. One press will turn the unit on in standby mode. The blower relies on a safety bar like we've seen on lawnmowers for decades. So power on, pull lever, power on again, and off you go. A second button for the LEDs, lights mounted on the handle, and 2 sets of battery indicators for the 2 sets of batteries. Now, I've heard some concerns over the watertight sealing of this battery compartment. There's not much of a gasket here. This thing can get absolutely covered, so keep that in mind. An additional pain point I've heard is some parasitic draw potentially on the batteries when not in use. I personally have not experienced that because I remove my batteries when I'm done and get them on the chargers. So I think that's just a better SOP in general. Remember, these lithium-ion batteries, they want to be warm and inside before you use them. So what's the verdict? At $1,500, $1,499, it's a tough sell when you could potentially buy a 2-stage gas or electric blower for the same price. It might not throw snow as far as a 2-stage blower, and it's got some limitations when you're in wide open spaces where you have to throw snow 40+ feet. So I've got a 3-bay garage where I can only throw it in one direction. So I have to throw it and then kind of go it over again to get it off and out. And that snow would compact even more, and it's just draining a lot of battery there. But if you're already on the Milwaukee battery platform, or you have smaller spaces, single lane driveway, maybe 2 spaces at the end, short driveways, sidewalks, walkways, this is a phenomenal piece of engineering for that, especially with the walkways and the really clean finish it gets. It was really nice. So this is definitely earning a permanent spot in my winter toolkit. Storage is a bit interesting. You're actually supposed to store it on end like this, which I find interesting. I'd prefer to see maybe being able to fold up the handles and collapse it a little bit more. You could go through the steps of disassembling it. It took about maybe about 10, 15 minutes to get everything assembled. This chute is first off, so you got about 6 screws, 6 bolts, and 4 bolts here to get everything together. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. We're always active. We always want to hear your feedback. And if you enjoyed the review, be sure to click subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.